to One Africa today, where we tell Africa's story from African perspective. Today, we are going to talk about a leader, a young African leader who have shaken up African politics. Yes, we are talking about no other person than Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore became the youngest African military leader in 2022 after he took over power from Paul. Ibrahim Traore is just 34 years old and the youngest African leader. In 2022, he led a military coup to take over power. But why? Because there were growing insecurity, poverty, and other issues, and the people were crying out. And Ibrahim thought that was the right time to take over power and make changes. And indeed, when he took over, since he took over power, 2022, Ibrahim has tremendously transformed um, um, Burkina Faso in every aspect. And not only that, he has so influenced African countries greatly, showing them that it is possible for Africans to be united. It is possible for Africans to manage our own resources and our affairs. And then that has really sparked revolution in the hearts of many young Africans, African youths across Africa. And Ibrahim is loved by a lot of people. This is a leader that is showing Africa the right way, showing Africa that we can become one, and showing Africa that we can survive without our colonialists still controlling or telling us what to do. Let's talk about France. For many years, for decades, France has been in Africa, especially in most of the Francophone countries. They say they are helping Africa to fight terrorism. Yeah, but Ibrahim realized that it's not of more of protection, but more of exploitation. These people discuss in the name of helping and exploit. And Ibrahim saw that no, in the midst of protections, people were wallowing in poverty, insecurity, and other forces that were fighting them. So his takeover was in the right direction at the right time to save Burkina Faso and to show Africa the way to become one. And ever since, Africans have been impressed, the youth has been impressed, and there has been a revolution in the hearts of the youth to unite Africa. You know one fascinating thing about Ibrahim Traore. In January 2023, he gave France 1 month notice to pack and leave Burkina Faso. He had them back in baggage. That boldness have never been seen it is rarely seen in African leaders to tell our new colonists, imperialists to leave. Let us have control over our own affairs, manage our own resources. Ibrahim had he took that move in 2023, had France back, and ever since Burkina Faso has been on a positive trajectory of development. Just like that, the decades of France's presence came to an end. Many people are saying that Ibrahim Traore is following the footprint of Thomas Sankara, who also led a revolution in the 1980s. Thomas Sankara also did a lot for Burkina Faso, but unfortunately was killed. Yeah, he died trying to save his country, he died trying to save his people, he died trying to make Africa great. Thomas Sankara, just like the other African leaders, he said, we must consume what we produce and produce what we consume. You know, Thomas Sankara was a great leader. Um, uh, Same as Tuari, he also speaks about the unity of Africa, self-reliance, and then the pride of Africa is very important. Thomas Sankara Just like Thomas Sankara, Ibrahim Traore also speaks about that. Ibrahim Traore has been a beacon of hope. His decision has inspired a lot of African youth across Africa. They see him as a beacon of hope, um, uh, someone who stands up to Africa's powerful nations. Burkina Faso also faces big challenges: uh, terrorism, poverty, rebuilding the economy. This is just the beginning of a long journey. Ibrahim Traore have a lot to do and have started a lot already. But we say we are solidly behind him, and he is not in this fight alone. We understand that for us to unite, for us to become great, we need to get rid of neo-colonialism and imperialism. And that is exactly what he's doing. African youth understand, and we are in support of what he's doing. One thing for sure, Africans are rising. Ibrahim Traore is leading the way. There's a new chapter that's open that Africa must speak for ourselves. If you believe Africa must write her own story, then like, share One Africa Today. Question for you: is Ibrahim Traore on the right path, or is too risky for Burkina Faso? Share your comments and your suggestions in the comment section.